My mom used to make something we would call flower pop. It was
What the hell is
like
that?
I think it was more like a
Look at
porridge.
Crip face. I'll never get my daddy made oatmeal one night. I don't know if we was poor that day or not. I never felt like I was poor, but that day he wanted to eat oatmeal. I was like, I don't eat oatmeal. It look like snot. And my dad said, "Well, you go to bed hungry." I said, "Gladly."
Classy.
So
If
you
you
gonna eat
ate oatmeal for dinner, yes, you were poor that night.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Sitcoms in Color. I'm Lady Lily, here with my fabulous co-host, Millie Red.
What's up? This is Millie Red.
Classy Lady.
Hey y'all, this is Classy Lady.
And Crypt.
Yay.
Today we're talking about an iconic TV mom that was known for her portrayal of being a phenomenal woman. This fictional character was beautiful, intelligent, professional, assertive, loving, and of course, confident. Her name is Clair Huxtable, who is played by Phylicia Rashad on The Cosby Show.
Clair Huxtable is a trailblazer. Do y'all remember the episode where Elvin was surprised that Claire served coffee to Cliff?
Hi, Mrs. Huxtable.
Hello, Elvin.
Is Sandra ready?
Well, not yet, but she'll be down in a little while. Would you and Dr. Huxtable like some coffee?
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee.
You mean you're gonna get it?
Yes? You're surprised?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Huxtable. I didn't think you did that kind of thing.
What kind of thing?
You know, serve.
Serve whom?
Serve him.
Oh, serve him! As in serve your man?
Well, yeah.
Let me tell you something, Elvin. You see, I am not serving Dr. Huxtable, okay?
Okay.
That's the kind of thing that goes on in a restaurant. Now, I'm going to bring him a cup of coffee just like he brought me a cup of coffee this morning. And that, young man, is what marriage is made of. It is give and take 50-50. And if you don't get it together and drop these macho attitudes, you are never going to have anybody bringing you anything, anywhere, any place, anytime, ever.
Yes. Yeah, that was funny.
So yeah, I remember that episode.
She would just dirty read him all the time, and he didn't
Yeah.
know how to respond or just kept him speechless.
Right.
I mean, she's already a lawyer, or an attorney, so she knows how to you can't argue with an attorney, I feel like, because they don't win. That's what they do. That's their thing. Crip's like, well, I can argue with anybody.
Me.
And will. And do. And did. And does.
Not all attorneys want to be argumentative, but I felt like her character was really tactful. Like she just always knew what to say, when to say it, how to say it. I almost feel like some of her stuff could not be written. I really feel like this just had to be truly who she was.
Oh, so you think like
All right.
a lot of the things weren't scripted?
I think so. I mean, I feel like whenever a character plays a part so well that you believe that's them, I feel like it's got to be a portion of them. Like it's got to be. And I feel like that's why she shies away from that type of role today, because almost every role she plays in today, it's got to be some evil woman part. I mean, like it's crazy. Like not every role, because it's like maybe 1% that she plays in now where she's sweet, but she shies away from that role because I think she really wants to act. I feel like the roles where she's playing an evil person, she's actually acting versus back then when she was, Clair Huxtable.
This is one of the
Wanna move
most
on?
eloquent characters I think ever written.
Mm-hmm.
Is Clair
Mhm.
Huxtable. Like, regardless of color, anything, she's just so eloquent in everything that she says, her behavior, just everything about her. Like, everyone should aspire to be like Clair
Mhm.
Huxtable.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for this episode, though, we are talking about when Phylicia Rashad's character Claire guest stars on another popular show called A Different World.
I know my parents
just loved me. Stand behind me, come what may. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world than where you come from. Ooh, than where you come from.
Y'all remember the show?
One of my favorite shows.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love going back and watching it. It's just so cool to see us Black folks navigating in college, and just it was just a beautiful thing to see.
I think that show actually increased enrollment for
Yeah.
MPHC.
MPHC, HBCUs.
No, I'm at HBC.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I was gonna say, what is NPHC? I'm like,
National
what
Panhandle.
in the world?
wait a minute, that's not the right acronym.
That's not. I'm like, did
Are you
I
talking
miss
about
a type
Greek
of
life?
college?
No, but
I'm
they did
like,
have like real Greek people
HBCUs.
in.
They
They did
did.
have real
They
Greek
kinda
people
did.
in the episodes, which I thought was really cool as well.
Mhm.
You just be watching, and all of a sudden, there's like an SG row
Mhm.
there,
A
which is like
Kappa.
really cool,
right.
or a Kappa, or an Alpha, and a lot of the main characters were also, some of them were in Greek organizations as well. It just made going to a HBCU look cool. And although I was super duper young when the show came out, I remember being older watching the show being like, I'm going to FAM, or I'm going to Howard, or I'm going to Clark Atlanta. Like, I was like, I'm going to one of those three. And then I ended up going to UF.
Yeah. Yep. Same. Same.
As we all, as we
Same.
all did.
I wanted to go to FAMU so badly, but I also had an opportunity to see Howard when I was in the 8th grade, I think, and I fell in love with that city. It was gorgeous, and the campus was beautiful. But then I saw that girl in some 6-inch heels walking up a hill, and it was cold. It was April, but it was still cold to South Floridians. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna be for me. Like, it is my dream to go to Howard, but it's just too doggone cold.
Was she
It's too
walking
cold.
on the set?
No, we were kinda coming out at that point, but she was, like, walking up she was footing it up a hill,
Oh,
y'all, like a
please.
steep hill. You know, Florida's flat,
Yeah.
so we don't have to deal with no hills. She was going up a steep hill, and it's like, at the time, it was, like, windy, and so it was like bricks hitting our face, but I just thought, "Well, what kind of superpowers does she have that this woman's out here?" I would never go to school. Like, as soon as it got cold, I don't know about y'all, but, like, when it got cold at UF, I was like,
I'm
Right.
not going to
Me
class
too.
today.
Because as flat as Florida is, UF was not. I was very
no,
confused.
No.
right.
UF was still very
And
hillish.
Very
Tallahassee's hilly
hilly.
too.
Yes.
So, y'all, a couple of fun facts about this show are: one, A Different World is a spinoff of The Cosby Show. Two, it was originally meant to follow Denise Huxtable, played by Lisa Bonet, on her journey through Hillman College, a fictional, historically Black college. But the direction of the show changed when Lisa Bonet left the show after season 1 ended due to her pregnancy. Three, the show ran for 6 seasons on NBC from September 24th, 1987 through July 9th, 1993. And four, Dwayne Wayne, played by Kadeem Hardison, became iconic for his flip up glasses, which were not originally part of his character. They became so popular that they turned into a fashion trend in the early 90s.
So, can I say something? How do you guys think this show would have gone had Lisa Bonet not had her pregnancy? Like, how do you think
Oh, it
the
would have been
development do
amazing.
you think Whitley would not have been the main
Mm-mm.
character
I
as
think it would
a
have
No.
been boring.
It would
it
have
would have
been
been boring?
boring.
Really?
Because
I think so.
I think like, no disrespect to her, but I feel like it got better once she left, because then the other characters were able to be developed,
Good
because like
point.
then they started changing, and like Whitley like her character started developing more, and um then like her relationship with Dwayne, like their relationship started developing more, and like there's just so many other relationships that I don't think we would have seen had she stayed on the show.
After season 1, Bill Cosby and the producers, they felt like season 1 was not really portraying an actual historically black college. So they hired someone to revamp the show, and that's when things have changed.
Mm.
And there's a relation with the Jeffersons
Oh
in
my
this whole
god.
thing.
Really?
Yes. Lenny Kravitz's mother was Helen in The Jeffersons.
Oh, I didn't know
Mm.
that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder, when they
Ooh.
say that it didn't seem like a true HBCU experience, was that because like they had Marissa Tomei on there as a main character? And also I wonder,
Yeah,
why did they have her as a character on an HBCU show?
they were trying to show diversity.
I mean, there is diversity at HBCU, so
There
that makes
is
sense.
there is I don't know, I feel like they could have introduced her character like maybe in a different season or something, like, or they could have
Mhm.
introduced her character differently, not like as a
Mhm.
main character for the very first opening season of an HBCU based show. I mean, I like Marissa Tomei, but whatever. All right, so some other interesting facts. Number 5, Debbie Allen, a Howard University alumna, was hired to revamp the show after season 1 and bring more authenticity to the portrayal of college life at historically black colleges. Number 6, the show was also known for addressing serious social issues that were often avoided on other sitcoms like HIV/AIDS prevention and awareness.
Her aunt gave her a book that changed her life. It was a volume of Maya Angelou poems. After Josie read And Still I Rise, she knew she didn't want to be a ballet dancer or a nurse. She wanted to be a poet.
Stop fidgeting. You are a voice in this world.
So, it was a proud day when she graduated from Hillman with a degree in English literature and high honors. That was the spring of 1992. By the following spring, Josie Webb had died of acquired immune deficiency syndrome, disease we all know as AIDS.
I remember that episode. That was the
Mhm.
episode with Tisha Campbell, and Whoopi Goldberg was also on that episode.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
the show featured several notable guest appearances, including Tupac Shakur, who is Jada Pinkett Smith's friend, I guess, on there. Whoopi Goldberg, like I just said, and Patti LaBelle, who was Dwayne Wayne's mother.
And just to give additional information, when Debbie Allen came on and Lisa Bonet announced that she was pregnant, Debbie wanted to keep Lisa on
Hmm.
with a storyline of her pregnancy. But Bill Cosby did not want the character of Denise being pregnant on the
Right.
show. He felt that the world isn't ready for an unwed mother. But I think they missed an opportunity to
Mhm.
highlight mothers going back to college.
Back in the day, they did not want to show stuff like that because they felt like they were encouraging that type of behavior. So, and especially for one of the characters from the Huxtables to get pregnant, like no, that didn't even fit. You know what I mean? The fact that it's supposed to be a spinoff.
So two things. First of all, that's ironic coming from Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Dang.
Well, hold on. I mean, even though his actions were different, everything he said that was kind of still stayed true to how he felt.
I
Remember, the
mean,
black community kind of got kind of like will say like we're not feeling the message.
I understand what he was going for the show. I get that. without knowing the man, like, yeah, I get it. But I just find it very hilarious and ironic that he said those things.
I'm pretty sure we all have friends that got pregnant their first year.
Right. But it would have been an awesome thing for them to showcase, like, because now that I think about it, I mean, back in the day, like everything was about image and what it
Right.
looked like, what it appeared to be like. But, thinking now, like you could really just do anything. And it would have been a great way to show and to encourage the environment for other mothers who do get pregnant that 1 or 2 a year. It don't mean they have to quit. Like you technically don't have to. You really could keep going if you have the support system to do it. But I understand what the industry was trying to do, not encourage that.
They had a missed opportunity, but I also like how they did allow Denise to become a mother eventually to Olivia. So, I mean, had that have happened, we might not have gotten that whole entire storyline. So, I
True.
mean, everything happens for a reason. So, I mean,
Right.
we did miss
True.
that. We did miss that opportunity, but at least we were able to see like a non-conventional way of being a mother. So, for her to be a stepmother.
A Different World featured a talented ensemble cast. Some of the cast members included Jasmine Guy as Whitley Gilbert, Kadeem Hardison as Dwayne Wayne, Don Lewis as Jaleesa Vinson, Lisa Bonet as Denise Huxtable, Charnel Brown as Kim Reese, Cree Summer as Freddie Brooks, Sinbad as Coach Walter Oakes, Glenn Turman as Colonel Bradford Taylor, Daryl Bell as Ron Johnson, Lou Myers as Vernon Gaines, and Marissa Tomei as Maggie Lawton. The episode we will focus on is Season 1, Episode 19, titled Claire's Last Stand. Claire travels to Hillman College to visit Denise Huxtable. Meanwhile, Denise is planning a fun, exciting trip to Greece with her friends. They are so excited about this trip to Greece, they envision viewing notable landmarks like the Acropolis from their hotel. Denise knows her mother is coming to visit, so she devises a plan to convince her to pay for the trip.
Mom's plane gets in at 3:30, right? So from 3:30 to 3:35, hugs and kisses. 3:35 to 4 o'clock, heart-to-heart talk in the car with Mom. 4 o'clock, Mom's back at her favorite school. So by 4:17, she should be ready to say yes to anything.
Ah, then it's 4:30 when she finds out about your grades.
But Claire sees right through Denise's plan to win her over and shuts it down immediately.
Denise, you will not be going anywhere this summer that you cannot get to by subway. My dear, you are going to get a job.
Mom, Greece is such a wonderful educational opportunity.
Yes, and so is college, but you don't seem to have gotten very much out of it.
Oh, Mom, but Greece.
Out of the question.
Just like that, with no discussion?
Yes.
You haven't given me one good reason why I can't go.
All right, you want a reason? Greece may be the most inexpensive country in Europe, honey. But as far as I'm concerned, you have spent enough of our money. You have been here for 2 years and have managed to bring home the same pitiful grades with every report. And in the past 2 years, you have managed to do everything under the sun except declare a major. So you have had your vacation, and now it is over.
Claire's authoritative parenting style is firm and loving at the same time. It didn't matter what Denise said. Denise was not going to Greece on her parents' dime. So they wanted her to be accountable and mature about her education. Also, let's not forget the funny moment when the dorm mother, Letty, compares Denise to those wind up toy feet, saying she just runs around in every direction. What do y'all think about having a dorm mother?
Is that like the
I
RA?
was
No.
It was a little bit
Yeah, it
different
was.
than the
Yeah.
RA. It was
They did
it was
laundry,
like,
housekeeping.
yeah, motherly
That
duties.
sounded like something that a black school would have,
Right? I'm like,
honestly.
that would be
Yeah.
could y'all imagine the emotional, like, stress that we had in college if we would have had dorm mothers? Like, I just think that's amazing. I don't know if that was a real thing, so Maybe
Mhm.
someone can look that
Yeah, it
up or
probably
maybe
was.
comment about it. But
It still is.
I just think that's what? But
There's
is it
a
like a dorm mother? Is it like, oh, they're gonna find an actual person who's, a motherly figure to be a dorm mother? Or is it like, oh, you this your third year at the college, you be our dorm mommy?
I found a website that it's like dormmothers.com or something like that.
That is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear more about that. So if anyone listening has ever had a dorm mother or witnessed one, that would be really cool if you tell us about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. Throughout the episode, Denise's friends tried to make Denise look favorable in Claire's eyes. Dwayne even told Claire that he will tutor Denise during the summer.
Of course he would. He's obsessed with her. Let's not forget that Whitley gave Denise good advice. She told her you could eat humble pie with your parents or marry well. Although this episode was funny, it carried a very important message about accountability. The episode closes with a mix of humor and heartfelt moments as Denise reconciles with her mother's decision.
Afternoon. Denise, I had a talk with your creative writing teacher this afternoon.
I will hand in my paper.
No, he didn't say anything about your paper. All right? But he did say that you are lazy. But when he said you were lazy, I had to agree with him because you are one lazy child. You do not want to work. And it's not because you're afraid to fail. I think it's because you're afraid you're going to succeed. And then people will expect you to do well all the time, and you'll have to work all the time.
I do work hard. Sometimes. Mom, I will get a job, okay? Maybe as a waitress.
Oh, no.
With salary and tips, I could probably pay room and board.
Oh, no.
Maybe part of my tuition if I save up. Okay.
Claire does an amazing job at being firm and encouraging with Denise. In the end, Denise makes a plan to focus on her educational responsibilities. What did y'all take away from this episode? Denise is a brat. And I don't
She
like
just don't know
her.
no better.
She's
She been a
bratty. She's
kid all her
bratty.
life.
No, she's bratty on this show and she's bratty on the Cosby Show.
She is a brat. I'm actually shocked that she's such a brat because she's the oldest, right? Am I mistaken? She's
No,
the oldest.
Cassandra's the oldest.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Well, anyways, I still was shocked because she's in a house full of other siblings, and I'm like, girl, why are you so bratty? But here it goes. Like, you have a house full of children. Not all of them are gonna be like super go getters. We're gonna be A plus students. We're gonna do all of our work. Like, not every child is like that. Like, every child is different, and I like that they brought that to the show to show like this is a different kid. Like, she's not stupid. She's not slow. She's not trying not to try. She's just very bright. And she's got her own way of doing things, and she may not put her feet to the fire, but she could if she had. That is actually really common, especially in the Black communities, and I really liked how they brought that attention to these type of kids. I mean, I know she's not a kid, she's in college, but she's still a kid, she's still a baby, she's learning. And I love the advice that her mom gave her. Like, I'm so gonna rewatch the episode and write it down, and I'm gonna give that same advice to my son. But it was just like I tell you, like, every time I go back and watch these throwback shows, I am just shocked at the amount of wisdom and knowledge that they have in them, and we can use that today. So I don't know. It just that touched my heart. I'm like, well, I'm gonna tell my son that. How many people address a child today and use that same advice? Most of us are just like, you're not applying yourself, you're not focused, what's on your mind, why are you not focusing? We're not telling our kids like you can exceed, you can succeed. You're just afraid to. Like, I just thought that was pretty cool.
Denise is lazy and she's a brat and she irritates me.
She's very entitled.
Yeah, and she's like that on the Cosby Show. Like this episode, I just remembered, I was like, I don't like her. And I was like, this is exactly how she was on the Cosby Show. But then I was like, it wasn't until she came back and she got older, like after she had Zoe, like, and she came back from, I don't know, if she went to Africa or whatever, and she came back and she was married. I felt like she had grown up, and maybe it was because she had to grow up because she got married, and then like there was Olivia, so like she actually had to like grow up and take care of a whole nother human being. Then I was like, oh, I kind of sort of like her, because then like you started seeing her start to take care of like her siblings a little bit differently and stuff. Like she started acting a little bit like motherly towards them and what have you. So then I started liking her like once she got older. When she was younger, like that episode when she took care of Vanessa when she got drunk with her friends and then like she couldn't drive home and she was like, come get me. And she went and got her and she like took care of her and stuff. But like when she was a teenager and she was young and in college and stuff, I didn't like her. Nope. But Claire was a really good mother and gave her really good advice. And I feel like the Cosby Show, again, even though the actor might not be the best, person in the world, I feel like it's a good show to look at as far as like parenting. Like I feel like they had a lot of like pearls in there and like a lot of things are like a lot of wisdom in that show as far as like parenting and how to like outsmart your kids. Yeah, it's just a good show. That and A Different World.
I think it's always good. And I know we're focusing on A Different World, but even from the Cosbys, Claire's, I love the character that they developed for her role. To see that during that time period of really strong, educated Black women who were attorneys, not just, housewives or what have you, but having a whole profession and still maintaining the home. Anything she's played in, she's always had that very strong, powerful character. Yeah, I love the message in here and how she always held her kids accountable. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can I just say something about Debbie Allen? Like, I love her. What was that one TV show she played in with LL?
In the House?
In the House. Oh my gosh.
Was she
I
in
watched that
the
last year.
House?
It's always
I was gonna say, was she in
yes.
the house?
In the beginning. In the beginning.
What?
And
Who
then
did she
towards the
play?
end, they removed her. She played the mother of the children. Remember, she was a single mom. She had just rented this space from a landlord that she had never seen. And then all of a sudden she wakes up in the middle of the night and that's how she meets LL. And he's like, yeah, I'm the landlord. I just let you rent out the rest of the house and I stay
So
in
true.
like the
Yep.
back room that's off from the
Yep.
kitchen. And
I
then like as
forgot.
the season
I forgot
progresses,
about that. Yeah.
yeah. The seasons
Oh.
progress and all of a sudden she's not on the show. She's like took a job somewhere far away and they don't introduce her back into the show, which I thought was crazy.
She left in season 3 because of creative differences.
Well, I love Debbie Allen on Grey's Anatomy.
She was on Grey's
Oh, I didn't
Anatomy?
realize she was on there.
Yeah. Her character marries Richard Repper. She is part of the Avery family.
Wow.
I mean, she's Phylicia
Wow.
Rashad's sister, so yeah, I would expect nothing less
She
than
is?
Grace.
Yeah.
Yes, in real
Mhm.
life.
In real life.
Oh, I didn't. Oh my god, I forgot. Actually, I think I knew that and I forgot.
Yeah. So, this was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. But, this is one of my favorite shows. Crypt, what show and episode should the listeners prepare for next week?
So next week we are reviewing the popular Mo to the E to the
Hey.
Mo to the
Hey.
E to the. So I wanted to give shout outs to stepmoms. So I know that we're doing a Mother's Day special this month, but let's give some shout outs to stepmoms. And so we will be looking at season 1, episode 1 of Moesha, and talking about Dee and her role as Moesha's stepmom.
Tune in next week and check us out on Instagram at Sitcoms in Color. Check us out on Facebook at Sitcoms in Color. You can email us at sitcomsincolor@gmail.com. Y'all have any episodes you want us to cover? Hit us up. So where can they listen to our episodes, Crip?
You can rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. We gonna be in space next week. Bye.
Bye.
Because she's the oldest, right? Am I mistaken?
No,
She's the oldest.
Cassandra's the oldest.
Yeah. But Shia
That's
LaBeouf,
right.
is that what her name? Shia LaBeouf?
No, girl. Shia LaBeouf is a Disney.
Man.
It's a
I was
Disney
gonna say,
star.
it's a whole white man. A whole white Disney
He's from
man
Even
style.
Stevens, bro. What the freak?
Right. Like he was digging
was on
holes.
Train
They were
Wars.
like,
He was a hole digger.
Right.
Sandra.
Why you Shyla like that? You Shyla like that.
I was like, shut up.
But I think she did have a
Sandra.
She did
Her
have-
character name is Sandra.
Yeah.